protection, magic. It's always the last sort of magic you want to do when you jump into magic. Sometimes you're so thirsty for results in this arena and the other that you'll research it and study it later. Usually we jump into money magic first, and how glorious that is. I've recently started jumping into more hardcore protection magic. Not for the sake of anything particular, but a general house cleaning. I have seen some things fall out of my life, and maybe I'll attribute that to being protected. See, the thing is that when I first got into magic, I don't know what it is, but maybe it's like a moth to a flame in terms of attracting entities, things that go bump in the night, things that will reveal themselves in that little in-between space between going to sleep and full-on sleep. I can't wait to talk about the spooky shit. But let's stick to the topic of protection. When things occur that are unsettling in the home because you are attracting energy to yourself, not necessarily calling in spirits you can't get rid of intentionally. For me, it could be as simple as burning sage. They tell you the intent of burning sage is to cleanse the space. My experience with sage is different. My experience with sage is that it attracts things into the space. I say things because I have no idea what the occurrences are and what the little spooks are and things out the corner of your eye. My children are especially sensitive. So, when I realized sage wasn't it for me, actually, Palo Santo was the one that sweetened the space. But when I realized that wasn't strong enough to get the aura clean and, I don't know, the bugs out of the house, after years of not looking into protection magic, see, when the bugs would come in the house, I would default to whatever I knew and pray, oh please, Lord, remove the negative energies. When they would get too close to me, Jesus, please. Jesus wouldn't work for me either. Only one time. I was in the in-between space of that sleep and wake, where they love to just pop into the consciousness. And I remember it scurrying away like the wind out of the room. It's interesting. Not that I saw it, but the energetic signature of whatever it was, it fled. Yeah, it fled with the swiftness. At one time, there is power in the name of Jesus, but that's a real different relationship, I think. I don't know why it worked that time. But let's get back to the matter at hand. I would plead with God, oh, please cleanse the space, protect my family. Yeah. But I got tired of being poked and prodded, and dealing with bumps in the night. And I remember the first time I had a real protection. I got down and dirty and I started reading books. This is years after being into Magick with no protection. And I don't remember which book it was. There's so many. It might be Hoodoo House Cleansing, something like that. It's a lot of little books here and there on Audible and such. And the general one, and it's so odd, Frater Xavier talked about this, and he invested in like a $3,000 vacuum to like get into it, but it's cleaning the house. Simple cleaning, like mopping your shit, moving all the furniture. And for me, after accumulating years of furniture, you have your wall units and this table and that table. It's daunting of a task for somebody that's really settled into their space. But anywho, it's cleaning the house. And I mustered up the strength, I don't know how, and I cleaned every inch of my floor. You have to mop it. I don't remember what I mopped it with. I might have mopped it with like a basil brew, like a basil and cinnamon boil that I poured into the mop bucket. There's so many little things that you can do, but that one worked like a charm for me. To each his own. It's about resonance a lot of the time, and what you're after. I think basil is supposed to bring money into the home and also protection. But anyway, I mopped that sucker, top to bottom, starting at the back of the home, going to the front. Every inch. Clean, clean, clean. Organized, dusted. I was proud of myself because even though I'm pretty tidy, I have to muster up the strength to get into the space. And when you have a home with people in it, it can be a bit of an undertaking, at least for me. But I got to it. And when I say we slept like babies in God's palm, it was beautiful. And maybe it lasted for a week before, not before things, but before the frequency of the home changed. Yeah, that's what it was. The frequency was sublime. And that was the first mode of protection. The cleanse. That's so important. Now, there are all sorts of other little knick-knacky things that you can do. You know, when things get too hard, you can put an egg and some water under the bed. That shit always freaked me out. It really freaked me out. But it works. I don't know why it's their job to attack us, to bother us, to haunt. But it is. And it's our job to put our guards up. Right now I'm in a different level of protection. Some heavy duty stuff. I'm looking at Damon Brand's protection. Maybe it's called magical protection. And I've never done anything like this before. But it feels like the proper thing to do. It's like a house cleansing of the personal aura, as opposed to the space is the one that I'm working on. Safeguards to put in place. So, there are all sorts of things to work on when it comes to protection. I think I'll invest in Freighter Xavier's protection situation he has. He's a great channel, that's where I started. And I have seen a significant change in my life once I got into him a bit. A plethora of information. Started as oldest and go to the newest. Every inch of his information is valuable. And it'll put you into a place of alignment. But I ignored the protection part. Some of it, what he revealed on the channel, I used what I could. You know, he put out a video recently. You know, whenever you're doing magic, you have to bind down the unwanted actions. You have to, what does that mean? It's basically, I bind all things that I don't want to happen, and no harm to come to those who I know and love, that sort of thing. In more ritual format than what I'm saying, but that part. Because if you don't make that your statement, or if you don't include that, the energy gets pulled from somewhere. There's he states this in Florence Shin, I believe. Florence. You know, The Game of Life and How to Play It, lady. Jump into that. Good listens while you're cleaning the house. But, you know, there's the frequency of I want something so bad. And when you get it, it can come at the consequence of someone else's demise. In her book, she wanted a house so bad. One lady, I want this house so bad. Oh my God, it's my dream house. I love this house. Lady's just praying for the house, manifesting the house. But the person in the house dies so that it can become hers. And it happens. Frater gives an example. I don't know if it was him, it was probably somebody else, but somebody's like, oh my God, I need $14,000 or whatever. Oh my God, manifesting it. I need it. And then an uncle dies and leaves the money to the person manifesting it. It is a real thing. And he talks about making sure you have the channels available to you for the money to come into. Number one, so that somebody doesn't have to kick the bucket for you. A lot of my, I didn't have many channels open at one point in my life, so when I would manifest, everything that I would manifest would come to my significant other. And I was pissed. Why is it coming to him? I manifested that $500, whatever it was. But he was the only channel. So, these are things that are food for thought. I guess we could talk about it more. Channels and such. But, sticking to the protection, look into it. Grab some good books. Listen to them on Audible while you're cleaning your house. When your house is clean as a whistle, the energy will flow better. You could start implementing the sweet aromas and things that bring in joy and abundance and change the vibration. The vibration of the home is important. Herbs and such do this and that. Herbology is big. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Stay safe.